How important is QClash in the scheme of the seasons, coming up against a rival?
Who are you asking?
Blakey starts.
Well, I'll start from a Queensland footy point of view. Obviously, to be able to have a second franchise in the state and then to see what that does to the state of the football. I guess progressive from that point of view, and then to create a little bit of rivalry and hopefully around that from a fan point of view, there's a little bit of something to run with. So yeah, from on the field, really important, talent-wise, and then off the field, it's some of what surrounds the whole game.
Like, is it a game that you really want to win?
I don't think I've ever been to a game where I haven't really wanted to win, and I don't reckon Stars would be any different. And that's a massive part of the fun. Not losing sight of that that you want to win, and then you're going planning and trying to get your players to do what you need to do to win that game. That's a big part of the fun.
They've poached a bunch of your players. Does that add to the rivalry?
Oh, probably, yeah. But I mean, that's ages ago, and we've lived in this little period now where for 4 years we've been expanding. So no other competition in Australia has gone from 8 teams to 14 teams in 3 years. So that's part of the territory. If you had asked me 5 years ago whether we'd have 2 franchises in Queensland going, so well in the first couple of weeks, it would have been wrapped if someone had have suggested that. So the fact that we're here now and we're about to play each other in round 3 and we've got 3 wins between us is actually great for female footy in Queensland.
Have you guys been going through past blokes QClashes to just amp up the rivalry more, or what's the plan there?
I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, may not need it because a lot of these players are friends, played against each other, played with each other at various state league clubs, AFLW, but they all know each other. They've all played against each other, and so just a great weekend coming up.
David, that game on the weekend against Richmond was absolutely amazing. The atmosphere after the game, I can't remember the last time I felt like that at a Gold Coast sporting event. It was just fantastic. Have you seen that impact the girls in any way at all? Like, has there been a notice, not that they needed a lift, but has there been a lift at training this week, or how have the girls reacted?
Well, they've been fantastic, and I guess I've left it alone to let them roll around in it for a little bit longer. It was pretty special when you walk into the unknown and you don't know what's going to unfold in front of you, and then you create that opportunity to feel that good. You deserve to roll around for a little bit. But I do think they're a group that correct fairly quickly, so I'm not too concerned that that's still going on. I think we'll still be ready for what's coming.
And you couldn't have really scripted a better team to come up against, like a great Queensland derby. We've seen it with the men's for years. So for the girls to come up against the Lions, what would you like to see from them this weekend?
I think Star summarised it pretty well, and I actually similar comment that he made in an article weeks back about the friendships, and they're on each other's social media and they're all good mates. And when they go into battle, I'm sure there'll be game faces, but I think there's still a hell of a lot of respect. And so for all, there was rules set up around expansion and how it had to look and what would unfold, and that's unfolded as Craig described, and now we play in it. And the rivalry will grow as sides develop.
Lauren, there were hugs when you walked in. When did that end?
I think, as Lakey was saying, there's huge amounts of respect amongst these playing groups, and I think that's really important, particularly being a QClash, and for both sides it's round 3, and both teams will be intending to win this weekend, and maintaining that respect across the competition is a real hallmark of AFLW. So one of the best things about playing in this comp is coming up against some of your best mates and playing really hard footy, and I can't wait for that on Saturday.
Sam, have you been throwing a few text messages back to your former teammates about what might happen if you guys get up?
No, not really. The level of respect, again, as everyone's touched on, is there, and we might save the text messages for after the game. I think both teams are trying to prepare for the weekend as they do every other week, so that's no different this week.
Our coaches, we've both seen very fast attacking styles of football from you both, so where do you think the game's going to be won this weekend?
On the scoreboard?
Yeah, I mean, good answer.
Right, the only place that matters.
Correct. The style of footy. The style of footy is an interesting question, because part of the responsibility we've got when we prepare teams is to play something that's attractive. And I think last year and this year, everyone was worried about expansion taking away the quality of the comp and scoring and so on and so forth. But from what we saw last year, what we've seen the first couple of rounds this year, the quality of footy's outstanding. I mean, I don't know what Lakey's doing with his crew. He's got some idea what I'm doing with our crew because we coach together. But I think style of footy and the attractiveness of it generally is probably really important. So if that means whatever style we come up with, we're trying to beat the opposition. But I don't think it's dour, lockdown, no one score type footy. I think we're both trying to score. And I think the footy that's getting played generally reflects that.
I guess on that, how pleased have you been with how competitive your team has been, basically from the get-go?
I'll roll it back a step further and say I've been the happiest about their capacity to learn. I reckon that's a massive part about the type of player you bring in and their ability to take on board information and put the right things around them to be able to develop, and then you perform, I guess, inside all that. And when you've got good shape around the footy and behind the footy, and as Craig, not rolling numbers back with effort and just scrapping it out, but actually having a method for the way that you go about it. The girls have been amazing in the way they've developed that. So that, I guess, it's dare to dream from there, because it's about the level we can continue to improve at. So I'm excited for so far, but if they continue to learn at the level that they are, who knows where we go.
Craig, obviously the Lions have been in the comp for 3 more years than the Suns. Do you think there's a bit more at stake for you guys to win this game?
Not really. It's at the end of the day, I mean, it's the first time we've played each other, so you get bragging rights whoever wins, but it's round 3 and we're both trying to build a season. So it's either a step forward or a step back. So really in the scheme of the competition, it's not worth 6 points or 8 points. It's still worth 4 points if you win. So, but yeah, I think just some games are different because there's a little bit more around the build up to them. I guess that's the only difference. But at the end of the day, it's still one game of footy.
Craig, just about Jessie and a rising star. Your perspective on her award? Yeah,
well, ecstatic actually, because she played all the games last year when we had a bit of a rough year, but she's only turning 20 this year. She's played netball as a bit of a background through her teenage years and came to footy late, and is getting better and better. So she's someone that just keeps improving. She's got a thirst for improvement and knowledge of the game and all the things that you want from a footballer, and she just keeps getting better, which is terrific. But it's the tip of the iceberg for her really. She's got a lot more learning to come and a lot more development, but this is great recognition for her just along her fairly short pathway.
Sam, obviously there's a lot of Queenslanders in both teams, and there's a lot of Queenslanders playing well across the whole competition, across a number of teams. How do you kind of see that pathway, and what does it say about the talent pool in Queensland, do you think?
I think it's getting stronger and stronger. I think there's been a lot of work going the past 5 or 6 years in the talent pathway. We're seeing the fruits of that now with some really great performances across the country and all teams from Queenslanders, and that will continue. The kids are continuing to get better across Queensland, and I'm really looking forward to when they come into the competition. They might boot me out, but they'll be all right.
And Sam, you mentioned there hasn't been any text messages exchanged yet, but do you feel like because it is the Queensland Derby, there will be that extra level of rivalry that will seep into some of the girls this weekend? Absolutely,
it's going to be spicy because everyone wants to win. There is bragging rights at stake, and it means a lot to all of us, and it is for 4 points, but this is the one that you mark in the calendar when you see it come out in the draw to say, we were looking forward to this one. It will be a great crowd. Hopefully lots of Brisbane fans come down and we can fill the place up and make a great spectacle for everyone that comes to see it.
Lakey, you guys obviously played a practice match in the pre-season, but how much have you guys improved since then? It was a very tight loss when you did play.
One thing I know well about Craig is we weren't competing that night. We were, you play and you have a scoreboard, but it was about getting our game fluid. We hadn't had a lot of footy. We'd fallen behind the rest of the country in that regard. So how we played and what we played that night was as much about making sure everybody got an opportunity as it was actually about what the scoreboard did. Have we improved? Yes, we have. But have they improved? Clearly, yes, they have. So I guess it's about getting a run into the season and having some real-time practice.